This fourth and final part of my discussion on music deals with the occultic side of pop. In part 3, I mentioned that a former disc jockey named Carl Walker said that in much modern music there are 5 basic themes. These being sex, drugs, violence, occult and rebellion. I touched on the other things mentioned in this DJ, by this DJ in the video clip. In this one I will be highlighting the symbolism featured in modern music and also the occultic themes in its lyrics. I must say at this point that in order to avoid getting sued, I am not making a statement that any of the groups or artists mentioned here are definitely Satanists or occultists. I am merely explaining to the viewer what their symbolism and song lyrics are believed to represent, in order that they can make an informed choice as to what they should listen to. The CD I am holding up here is by a group called Clean Bandit. As you can see, this group are all showing only one eye on the album cover. And as you can see on the back here, that there is a triangular shape. Although this may sound strange to the vast majority of us, there are some who might notice the group showing only one eye on the front of our album and see the triangle on the back, and thus put 2 and 2 together and conclude that this particular band are Satanists who have sold their souls to the devil to get their music in the pop charts. I don't understand what on earth you're talking about, you might say to me, as you're watching this. To throw more light on the subject, a lot of us today will still remember a 4-piece band called ABBA, who became one of the most famous pop groups ever by winning the Eurovision Song Contest in 1974. Their success continued until they split up during the early 80s. In 1979, they released an album called Voulez-Vous, which topped the charts in a number of countries and was one of the top 5 selling albums in the UK for that year. The front cover of the album showed the band posing within a square inside the triangular shape, resembling a pyramid. Most of us will think this is harmless enough, but those of us more in the know about conspiracy theories might conclude that ABBA were members of an organisation known as the Illuminati, a bit more information about which can be found in the description below. This particular organisation are believed to have their own symbol, consisting of a pyramid shape with a triangle on the top, with an eye in the middle of it. This eye is known as the Eye of Horus, and those who are members of the Illuminati, or believed to be members of it, supposedly have a habit of showing one eye, a signal which is believed to represent this Eye of Horus. Singers have always been pictured showing only one eye on album covers. This is because they have been photographed with their head to one side, and when you do that, only one of your eyes can be seen. But what if one of your eyes is covered by something else, a hand for instance? Perhaps you've heard of a popular Barbadian singer, actress and fashion designer and businesswoman named Rihanna. On her album Rated R, she deliberately hides her right eye with her hand. During one interview, she lamented about fans assuming that she was a devil worshipper because of their reading into my hand over one eye on my album cover. When asked about the reason for this action, their reply was, "'Cause I'm a devil worshipper, what are you talking about?" Other artists besides her have made similar remarks during interviews, including popular singer Katy Perry, who said, "When I was 15, because I grew up in a household where all I ever did was listen to gospel music, I swear I wanted to be like the Amy Grant in music, but it didn't work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil." Maybe all this is just nonsense, you might think. How could someone possibly become famous by diabolical means? There is no devil anyway. Actually, some religious organisations would agree with you on that score. One of them, the Christadelphians, have in fact interpreted the Bible to mean that Satan is not a literal entity, but a negative force within mankind. Perhaps you could say the Bible doesn't make it quite clear what he is, but it does make it quite clear that Jesus was tempted by him. If you look into Matthew chapter 4 verse 8 we read, "Again the devil took him along to an unusually high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. And he said to him, all these things I will give you if you fall down and do an act of worship to me." There is a scriptural indication there that the devil is in fact a literal living entity who can offer fame and fortune and popularity to anyone who worships him. Witches and practices of sorcery or black magic are believed to be able to cast spells on others to control them. Take for instance a song by the group Little Mix, another band who have been photographed doing the Eye of Horus signal. "Take a sip of my secret potion. One taste and you'll be mine. It's a spell that can't be broken, and I'll keep you out all night. Boy, you belong to me, I got the recipe and it's called black magic." One song by Katy Perry called Raw is believed to contain subtle references to witchcraft. The song mentions the eye of a tiger in Dancing in the Fire. In witchcraft, a tiger's eye is a talisman which is believed to offer protection, assist in the achievement of goals, help in resolving eternal conflicts and issues of self-worth, etc. It was carried by Roman soldiers to encourage bravery in battle, and is believed to contain the power of both the earth and the sun. It is made from oxide and quartz found in the US, Australia, India and Mexico. The element that it is associated with is fire, which Perry sings about dancing in. The video which accompanies Perry's song Dark Horse has been described as pure relentless, in-your-face Illuminati symbolism, interlaced with references to the elite's brand of black magic and mind control, and also dripping in ancient Egyptian symbolism, along with Illuminati occult symbolism mixed in. Eye of Horus symbols are seen in the video. She's seen doing the usual one-eyed hand signals, and also has the Egyptian Eye of Horus symbol painted onto her hair. Other groups who also incorporate this symbol into their music videos are U2, Peter Gabriel, former Genesis frontman, and Tears for Fears. U2's lead singer Bono has been photographed doing the one-eyed hand signal on numerous occasions, and has also performed wearing horns on stage. In an interview for Spin magazine in 1997 he said, "One thing that I might regret from early times was just showing that one side of me. The egomaniac was always there too, and some people have always seen me with horns." What about U2's song lyrics? Probably the vast majority of them may seem innocent enough, but there does seem to be a couple of exceptions to the rule. The song Get On Your Boots contains the ambiguous line, "Satan loves a bomb scare, but he won't scare you." The song Vertigo seems to me to be about selling one's soul to the devil. I wouldn't say for definite that it was, but there is definitely something dubious about the lyrics in my opinion. Peter Gabriel has also been photographed many times doing the one-eyed hand signals. One of his album covers shows one side of his face melting to leave one eye intact, and he also mentions hearing voices in at least two of his songs, something which has a strong occultic element to it. The 80s group Tears for Fears display an image of a horned Satan on the front cover of their album Everybody Loves a Happy Ending. They too do one-eyed hand signals, and their hit song Shout also contains a reference to selling one's soul. Some groups go even further. The satanic influence in their music, song lyrics and stage shows is even more blatant. Take the group AC/DC for instance. They commonly wear horns on stage. Their 1979 album Highway to Hell, which was the last one to feature their late lead singer Bon Scott, shows him wearing horns on the front cover, and the title track has these lines in the lyrics: "Hey Satan, paying my dues, playing in a rocking band." Similarly, the album Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden, released in 1982, also features an image of a horned Satan on the front cover and contains lyrics of a shockingly blatant demonic nature. The Rolling Stones featured an album called Their Satanic Majesty's Request, and also a song called Sympathy for the Devil. Brian Jones, a member of that group who died of a drugs overdose, is believed to have dabbled in black magic, driving around in a black Rolls Royce with DD 666 the DD standing for Devil's Disciple, as its number plate. An album I mentioned in part 3 of this discussion, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles, has many well-known persons on the front cover, notably one of them being the infamous Satanist and occultist Aleister Crowley, pictured on the top left-hand side. Many people find it somewhat uncanny that the album was released almost 2 decades to the day since Crowley's death, and one song on the album said, "It was 20 years ago today, Sgt. Pepper taught the band to play." Jimmy Page, former guitarist with the group Led Zeppelin, once lived in the house previously owned by Crowley, and their song Stairway to Heaven is often believed to contain demonic messages when played in reverse. What about the names of rock and roll or heavy metal bands? Take, for example, the group Kiss. Many consider their name to be an acronym for Knights in Satan's Service. They themselves deny this, however. There is an undeniable evidence that they were involved in the occult. Kevin Jacobson, their Australian promoter, once booked the entire first-class compartment of a jetliner for a flight from the US to Perth because he was afraid their Ouija board and seances would frighten the other passengers. The name of the heavy metal group Black Sabbath has occultic connections, and the name of the group Alice Cooper, which was adopted by their lead singer after they disbanded, is believed to have come from a Ouija board. Their song Schools Out seems to hint at a spirit of rebellion. After all this information, you're probably wondering if there's any sort of modern music which is okay to listen to at all. Is it wrong to listen to Clean Bandit or ABBA, you might ask? Probably the answer to that question is there isn't really enough evidence to say either yes or no with any confidence. Have all pop performers sold their souls to the devil? There isn't sufficient evidence to answer that question either. The comedy group The Barren Knights recorded a track called Baron's Fun 40, supposedly as comedic singles chart, on which one of the songs was Sex, Drugs and Rock and Roll by the Nolan Sisters, meant to be hinting at sarcasm due to the squeaky clean image of that all-female singing group who were brought up in the Catholic religion, but even they recorded a track called Sexy Music. 16-year-old Robert felt that his father did not understand his choice of music. All he does is scream and say, "Turn it off." So I turn it and him off. Maybe you don't understand very much about the music your children listen to, but what sort of an effect would you say it was having on them? I myself have been diagnosed with a form of autism known as Asperger's syndrome. I have been claiming disability living allowance since the age of 22. There was a time when my own father assumed that his condition was caused by the music I was listening to. Was he right? I know my tastes have altered somewhat since I was that age, since it was now 30 years ago. Maybe if your child has a condition you don't understand, you shouldn't just presume it was caused by anything in particular. Perhaps the real truth is that it wasn't really in reality caused by anything. Perhaps it was just something they were born with. Anyway, after all the hard work that's gone into producing this discussion, I hope you found it interesting and informative.